The show can't start until we crack open a bottle of Revelton. Whether it's their crisp, clean vodka, the bold spice of their rye whiskey, the rich smoothness of bourbon, or the original honey whiskey that started it all, every pour is a taste of craft and passion straight from the heart of Iowa. So pour yourself a drink, settle in, and get ready to relax, laugh, and enjoy the show.
Hey, it's Andrew Downs. I'm proud to support Three Beards Media, and I would love to work with you. If you need merchandise for your company, organization, band, softball team, whatever, I can help. From name brand apparel to promotional items, large orders or small, online stores, and more, I can help your brand stand out. AKC Marketing is local, based in Johnston, and we are an employee-owned business, so our costs are low and our turnaround times are fast. But most importantly, we give you personal service to make sure you get exactly what you're looking for. Email me at andrew@akcmarketing.com or find me on social media, and let's make some cool stuff together. Now sit back and enjoy this Three Beards Media podcast.
Would you like to sample some of my nuts?
You can lift your weights, you can run your miles, but you ain't got what's been earned through trials. It ain't in the gym, ain't in the youth, it's in busted knuckles and hard-lived truth. Back's been sore since 99, but I still stack wood and I'll still outgrind. Call me slow, call me old, but I got hands that could bend pure gold. Ain't about muscle, ain't about speed, it's about the fire when the time comes to lead. You can talk real tough, you can flex real wide, but when it's time to dig in, boys, step aside. Old man strength, built to last, years of work, no need for class. Ain't no quit, ain't no doubt, you don't know tough till you've been worn out.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Old Man Strength, brought to you from the AKC Andrew Downs Marketing Studios and sponsored by Revelton Distilling Company, Kyle Lehman at Wintrust Mortgage, and the Iowa Beef Steakhouse. I'm your host, Chris Shipley, and got to take a breath. That's a long opening. Holy shit.
Those are a lot of words.
You may recognize that laugh. My very dear friend, I'll start off by saying I've missed you so much. Former host of the Old Man Strength, Tim Johnson.
It's good to be back, Chris. It is good to see your face. It is good to be able to chat with you and talk about anything and everything. I have missed you very dearly as well. So this is very fun for me.
Yeah, I'm not even sure how to start this episode, but then again, I never know what the fuck I'm doing. For people that don't know, and we kept it pretty. I wanted to keep it respectful when things kind of fell apart. I didn't. I was very conscious of the fact that Tim was a big part of Aaron and I and Tim starting Three Beards Media. It was, maybe a lot of people don't know Tim, the story. We were trucking along with Ted Flint and the Tailgate Society, who, again, Ted's been great. He's a great friend. He's always been supportive. And we were just at a point where it was time to bring Old Man Strength on its own. And you were doing a podcast with Aaron and JT called Bitter Units. And we just thought, let's give it a go on our own.
Yeah. Kind of a bold endeavor. Certainly not anything that I think either you or I had when we were with Tailgate Society as something that was originally in the plans. But yeah, I would echo what you said. Ted has been great. I continue to chat with him and he's kind of branched on his own as well. So it's been fun to see that as well.
Yeah, he's done great stuff with Cyclone Fanatic, him and Jake and Sean doing their Landlocks podcast with Cyclone Fanatic, and they still do a little bit of stuff on Tailgate Society, but we just felt like it was the need to come on. And to be honest with you, we were seeing some success and some numbers with Old Man Strength. And, I always tell people on this podcast, this interview show that we do now was not what this show was when we first started.
No. It's funny because I feel like guests always do better numbers, right? Like people want to hear guests, but mostly for us it was just an outlet to be able to just bullshit and really hang out. It was more two guys hanging out, and then people got to listen to it
Yeah.
than anything else, right? It, it is not uncoincidental that we kind of got our start in all of this, tailgate society during the early days of the pandemic, and then branching out on our own as the pandemic was still going on, and so everyone had kind of gotten used to Zoom hangouts and all of those things, and so it really was basically, for all intents and purposes, a Zoom hangout that people could listen to or follow along or watch live with us. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, I mean, it kind of started off with us talking about our dads a lot and that, and us being dads and that whole thing. And then how much we hated Trump for a good year and a half.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, we were called Bolshevik Marsics.
That's right.
That's when I knew we had made it.
Yeah,
So,
I had forgotten about that. I do have. I'm a Marxist in more of the Marx Brothers, I think, if anything.
yeah, I didn't know what it was. I had to go look it up. So see, nothing's changed.
Yeah, I was gonna say, why does that not surprise me? Yeah.
But we were kind of trucking along there. We were I won't. We were doing decent numbers. We were doing a good service. I think the one thing that we're really proud about is we were giving a lot of money back. We were raising
Yep.
money for stuff. And then, we brought on more people that wanted to join kind of Three Beards Media and do their own thing. Drew, for example, Drew and Andrew host Hawk's Eye View. We brought on our friend Marcus and Brent, and they're killing it with Side of the Storm now with Dave. And then it's just kind of evolved from there. We brought people on. We've dropped some people. Some people have stayed on and left. And there was a point of contention there that probably kind of led to you and I having our falling out.
Yeah. No, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It was certainly precipitated by the evil that is social media. And I've, since discarded a lot of that. I certainly own up to my just general frustrations, I think, in life that bled over into everything else. And so, I very much do apologize. But yeah, it sucks to let somewhat, in hindsight, were some pretty silly things come between us. But
Right.
I think you and I both have never been shy about having opinions.
No.
You and I have never been shy about conviction of belief. And so, unfortunately, sometimes, I certainly dig in my heels. And, I have had and continue to have my own personal struggles on my own personal journey, and continue to seek therapy and work on a lot of those things about myself. So I really appreciate you extending such an olive branch for me, particularly seeing me maybe going through some struggles and reaching out and just reminding me of all of the good and how everything else was just a little silly.
Well, I think the truth sometimes is always in the middle, right? Like, you dug your heels in and you were passionate about something, and and that you've admitted, and I think you admitted that you went overboard.
Yep.
And I probably went overboard in the other direction. I was in a position where I was trying to be so. I don't think I was being true to myself.
Sure.
And I'll say it, and I'll put it this way. I still firmly believe that that if this country and if this and if people are going to get past whatever we're getting past, you sometimes have to put differences aside and send olive branches and be friends and be around people that may not necessarily see the same way as you do. Right.
Sure.
I still truly believe that. But I also feel like I've sold myself out sometimes for the betterment of what I've believed in to smooth over relations that maybe I shouldn't have. And Tim, you and I on this show have never sugarcoated anything.
Yeah.
And so, we had people on this network that were doing a show. They were great people. I knew we didn't see eye to eye on a lot of things. But I had worked really hard to cultivate that relationship, and I didn't want to lose it.
Sure.
And in hindsight, I lost a good friend as a result of that, where I think I could have bridged to the point where we both could have benefited.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
Full disclosure, I was frustrated with a lot of things. I do a lot for Three Beards Media, and I felt at some point I was the only one that was doing a bunch of shit. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And you were, and I think that was a very fair grievance to have.
And so I don't even know, like, let's just put it all out there. There was a tweet put out, and I think my initial problem with the tweet is that you had just grouped everybody into a generalization, right? And it was after the Perry High School shooting, which was a tragedy and never should have happened. And we need gun control in this country, and we need it now. And and you are exactly right. I think where we went off the rails is that you weren't listening to me and I wasn't listening to you.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. I think, I mean, that's kind of, that's probably cause number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 of what gets in between people in any relationship is just not listening. And it does not help when, again, two people like us that dare I use the word stubborn. But I think it is, again, it's a testament to you that you can take a step back and kind of see more to the story than just what you're feeling and thinking. It's fun as we've reconciled it's been kind of funny to me listening to all of the not really listening, like reading, following, and only tangentially, but like all of like the stages of grief that Cyclone fans are going through right now.
I was in full blown meltdown mode yesterday,
and seeing the people taking some information and running with it, people making too many assumptions on this side, too many assumptions on that side. Boy, there's never been a more divisive topic in Cyclone fandom than what's going on right now.
I went full meltdown that I wrote an article on the website comparing Jerry Krause and Jamie Pollard and how Jamie Pollard is destroying the future of the Cyclone Athletic Club, just like Jerry Krause did when he didn't run it back with Jordan and those guys. I may have went over I was pretty heated yesterday. So what's that saying? You shouldn't tweet when you're angry. I probably shouldn't write an article. Yeah. But
yeah, I mean,
it brought a lot of eyeballs to the website, so I'll take it.
I mean, I think they're, like you say, I think there's a lot of value in emotions, and I think one of the things that we've talked about before on this podcast is how something that can get toxic for men in particular is the idea that we shouldn't have emotion, right? Or certainly shouldn't ever express them. I think the danger is when the pendulum swings too far the other way, right? And you become completely emotionally driven, and I think that is not an easy thing to do. I I would love to go back to a world that is pre-internet in a lot of ways, where everything has to go through a publisher before anything gets out into the world.
Right.
Yeah.
Or just verified blue check marks that are actually verified.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So,
Yeah, that
but
too.
yeah. But you know, you said something about you know, therapy and things like that. And I was not, you know, I was looking to see when that happened. I was going back to look at times and where I was at. And you probably don't know this, but you know, I think you knew a little bit leading up to it. At the time I was working at a job that I was pretty fucking miserable at.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I was working for a small company that I just was completely unfulfilled. I was going to therapy. I would sit upstairs and Stacy would ask me what's the matter, and I go, I don't know. I'm just sad. I don't know why.
Yeah.
You know, I have a wonderful wife. I have a wonderful life, beautiful kids. And I literally just want to crawl up in a ball and cry. And I don't know why. So, you know, when that happened in January 2024, I was on the verge of leaving that job and starting something new.
Mm-hmm.
But I was frustrated with a lot of things.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
yeah, I was in a very similar frustrated space, and it's easy to let those things snowball.
Yeah. And not being open with each other, right?
Yeah.
How much farther could we have went if I would have called and said, and I don't think you even know that, you know, there was times where I had a lot of animosity. I'm over here booking guests and trying to schedule this and whatever, and you're showing up and just doing it, and then I'm editing, and you know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
And I never really, it wasn't fair to you that I didn't express those concerns either, right?
Yeah.
You probably had no idea that I was frustrated with all that.
I mean,
No.
you didn't say anything, but at the same time, shame on me, and recognizing it after the fact of holy shit, Chris really was doing all of the work, right? And I can fully admit that I was derelict in my duties, and I think a lot of that was because I was also so unfulfilled in things
Sure.
in my personal life that it became hard. I mean, so I've mentioned that I have major depressive disorder, and I'm not using this as an excuse, but one of the things that becomes a really big thing for me when my brain wants to shut down is just an absolute a complete executive function just shut down, right? And
Right.
so you know, at that time it was, you know, even finding it hard to do my own laundry. Again, not an excuse, but like it's hard to put
It's
in
valid though. Tim.
it's
It is valid.
well, because it's hard to put an effort on things, even things you care about. And I think
Right.
that's the thing sometimes that people don't understand, is that, you know, it's like, boy, if you really cared, you'd be able to do that. It's like sometimes even the things you care the most about, you have a hard time doing anything towards.
And let's be honest, you're raising a daughter,
Mhm.
and maybe that's all you had the capacity to do at the moment.
Yeah.
Is, you know, to put on a brave face every time you're around her. That's what fathers do.
Yeah.
They shove that farther down so that their kids aren't worried about them and things like that. I get it.
Yeah.
You know, and I kind of dug in my heels afterwards. I was like, fuck that guy. Now I didn't necessarily, I did make sure that I didn't want to trash anybody. You know what I mean? After that, like, because you were and you were an important part of this beginning, right?
Yep.
100% you were. You and Aaron both. Yeah, I do a lot of the work, and I do a lot of the back end stuff. And most of the time when I send something to Aaron's like, listen, I trust what you're gonna do. I trust you make the right decision, right? But and Amy to the extent too. Amy has come on and done some stuff for us and things like that. But and it's a collective effort. Like I couldn't be able to do all this stuff if it wasn't for Dave and Brent and Marcus and the guys at Chair Shots and Drew and Andrew and things like that. And it's and Billy and Willie. Like Tim, the Billy and Willie podcast is like my favorite hour and a half of the evening every week. It's the funnest thing that I do.
Yeah.
And all I do is sit in the back and just push some buttons and then hop on screen and let Bill and Willie make fun of me. So, but when I saw your, well, first of all, at one point, I think I kept checking your Instagram and you were like, I think you put out something that says, maybe somebody doesn't realize that I know when you check my Instagram or something like that. I don't know. And I was like, fuck, I can't stalk him on Instagram because you can tell that I, it shows you what a moron I was, that I had no idea how Instagram worked. But you came across my Threads account, which I never log into Threads. I don't know why. I never think about it. And, I won't say what you said, but it was concerning for me.
Sure.
And I can remember I was sitting on the deck and I was having a drink, and I texted you and I said, I read what you wrote. I know I'm probably the last person that you want to hear from, but I hope you know that you are valued and I care about you. And do you remember what your response was?
I guess I don't remember off the top of my head. No.
New phone, who dis? And I was like, that motherfucker. Is he trolling me right now?
And I wasn't. I wasn't, because I did lose a number of phone numbers. So when Aaron texted me, I do what I always do when there's numbers that are gone, is I just Googled the number and see what it is. But your area code, I knew a billion people there, right?
Right.
Aaron's area code, he was the only one I knew that I know for that area code, and I figured it out pretty quickly. But that's funny. I forgot that I said that. I was not trolling you, but that's really funny.
Oh, fucking dick.
Yeah, that is a dick move to do. Yeah.
Oh man. But
Yeah.
and then we've just kind of touched base from there.
Yeah.
And that was, I looked the other day, I was like, that was in August? Seems like it was just like a month and a half ago. But that was in August. That was the 1st of August that I had sent that text. So
no, and it did, aside from the obviously dick response, it did mean a ton to me, and it was important. I've had some struggles over the last year and a half, and so I feel like I'm coming up the other side on a lot of things, but it was really meaningful to me, so I really appreciated that.
Well, you're welcome. We Bill and I had that podcast for the longest time about false starts and mental health and things like that. And, what I was alluding to a little bit ago about where I was at health wise and mental wise in that January, that didn't help my response to you that day.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got this new job in February, and I remember, Tim, and we've never talked about this, but I remember sitting there. It was probably early December of that year, and I was scrolling through jobs again. I mean, I was applying all over the place, dude.
Yeah.
And I had gotten the third level of like 2 jobs. And
yeah, I remember you
didn't get it.
You were like finalist for a couple of jobs, right?
Yeah, and I was like, God, and to the point where one of them, I applied for another job for the same company with the same person and didn't even get a screening interview. So I don't know what that tells you. It tells me that their hiring practices suck. But I was scrolling through this job listing, and there was a job listing there that said director of marketing for a property management company. And I had worked in property management at BH Management for several years in the marketing department. And I thought, I can't do that job. Like I don't know how to do that job. I've never been a director before, And then I was like, fuck it. Like, what do I got to lose?
Yeah.
Well, February rolls around and I get that job.
Mm-hmm.
But the owner, one of the partners was like, listen, we want to hire you, but you just don't have the chops for a director's position. I can hire you at a coordinator level and bring you in. And I remember telling him, if you hire me as a coordinator, I'll earn that title.
Sure.
And by December of last year, I was promoted to director of marketing and innovation there.
That is fantastic.
So, my life's been blessed. I've said this 100 times, man, from cancer to my job, my kids, that I saw that message of yours and I just wanted to just cry because I felt like I had failed you as your friend.
Oh,
And
don't. I can't tell you what to feel, but I wish you.
I'm very sorry.
And again, I am very, very sorry as well. But I'm just really excited to move past and move forward and be even better friends because of it. Right. I mean, I think that's maybe I don't want friends to have to go through what you and I went through to be better friends. But at the same time, I think that I trust you and believe in you even more because of it. And I really appreciate your integrity through all of it. And I really appreciate, I think, it's like forgiveness is a very weird concept that I think people struggle with. And I know that sounds kind of trite to say, but I think the reality is there's a lot of people that maybe don't hold a grudge, but they just don't ever want to forgive. I'm someone who lives with, and working with my therapist on this, but lives with a lot of regret. Like, and it's not like I can't just point to any one thing. I think about a lot of things that that I wish I would have done differently. And some people who are able to just kind of function their life without having like that crippling regret impact them. I don't get. But you have such a big heart that I know, and by the way, I know that from some of your past relationships, some of your past friendships, some of our mutual friends. I know, I've seen you repair relationships that were damaged for several years.
Yeah.
Right. So, just knowing your heart makes me very proud to be your friend.
I appreciate that. Speaking of mutual friends, I tailgated with Bill.
Yeah.
So
he just sent me a text message from a concert. Usually when I hear from him, 90% of the time when I hear from him, it's because he is at he's at an Urge concert, or something some concert that he knows that I will like. That's 90%. But I mean, he's had, not to get into his personal life, but he's had quite a year. So I will take whatever messages from him I can.
Yeah. We had dinner. I think it was last year sometime. He brought Owen up to go to Simpson, and he brought me different beers that he wanted me to try. Full disclosure, they're still sitting in the fridge. I didn't drink them.
I cannot say I'm surprised. It's nice to know some things do not change.
I'm a child and I have a child's palate, and I can't drink craft beer. So. But you know what I can drink, Tim? I've gotten really good at these transitions.
Yeah.
I can drink some Revelton, which is our primary sponsor here on Old Man Strength and at Three Beards Media. So we're gonna get a word from some of our sponsors at Revelton Distilling Company, and our newest sponsor, Iowa Beef Steakhouse. I went out there and filmed some stuff last week, and then wanted to eat like 3 steaks while I was there, but I can't because I'm trying to lose weight. But let's get a word from Revelton and Iowa Beef Steakhouse when we're back. And Tim, when we come back, I'm gonna let you host for a while because I feel like I feel like you should drive the bus a little bit here. So,
All right, we'll see.
all right.
Yeah.
Making great tasting bourbon requires the perfect combination of ingredients, conditions, and time. The longer it rests, the better it tastes. Revelton Distillery's new single barrel bourbon is made from 80% corn, sourced 100% from Iowa farmers. And unlike mass-produced bourbons, each barrel of Revelton's single barrel bourbon is unique, proofed on when it tastes best. As they like to say, it'll be ready when it's ready. And to ensure the highest standards of quality and flavor, owners Rob and Christy Taylor oversee the production and bottling. Every single barrel. Iowa born, Iowa aged, Iowa bottled. Try the new single barrel bourbon from Iowa's own Revelton Distillery. ReveltonDistillery.com.
In the heart of Des Moines, one name has stood above the rest: Iowa Beef Steakhouse. Step inside, and you enter a place where tradition still matters, where the atmosphere feels familiar, warm, and unmistakably Iowa. Service isn't rushed. It's personal, attentive, and rooted in genuine care. And before the main event, the freshest start in the city, our signature salad bar, crafted every single day. Then comes the reason people have returned for generations: Iowa beef, hand-seasoned with pride. Guided by flame, forged by heat. This is where flavor becomes legend. Served with the same care it was crafted with, a meal meant to be remembered. And whether the night calls for bold, smooth, or something in between, our bar offers a selection as rich as our history, including the old-fashioned we've become known for: balanced, timeless, unforgettable. And long after the fire cools, the glow of this place stays with you. Iowa Beef Steakhouse, 1201 East Euclid Avenue, Des Moines, Iowa, where Iowa comes for steak, done right.
Boy, I tell you what, I really could go for a steak and a cocktail right now.
No shit.
Yeah, that is a little bit better than I had for dinner this evening, to say the least.
I had to film myself. I had to film myself drinking because nobody wanted to go on camera. So I was like, I'll take one for the team.
I was gonna ask about that. I good job not looking directly at the camera.
That's right.
That's some nice work there,
Dude. It is so it is so cringe sometimes. 54 years old, like setting up a little tripod and filming myself, and it's just, you would think that I wouldn't do that, but the extent that I'll go for our advertisers.
You know, it's funny because I don't see, every once in a while I'll be in public and I'll see someone doing like a TikTok dance or something like that. And I know some people that do YouTube here locally, but I really don't see that. But I've got certain YouTube channels that I watch, and some of those people actually go out in public and go to stores and things like that. And I can't imagine what it would be like to try to like walk around a Bass Pro Shops talking to myself into a GoPro, and how like uncomfortable I would be doing that, knowing full well that everyone is looking at me. But then, then I look and it's like some of these YouTubers have people coming up to them and saying hi,
Right.
and follow their channel and all of that. And it's like, I don't know. It's just a whole weird, different thing that I'm sure I would eventually get past. But
It's
right
still,
now, the whole thing just makes me just makes my whole body pucker up.
it still sometimes freaks Stacy out if we're out somewhere and somebody will recognize me. And what's funny is we haven't done a lot of episodes, but Josh has been wanting to kind of go on and talk about, Williams syndrome and things like that. So we do a little show for him called Scooby Snacks and Stitch Chats, because those are his two favorite characters. And part of it is him eating goofy stuff, and then the other part of him is, talking about Williams syndrome and his life and things like that. And he was at the fair, and some guy was standing there, and he goes, is your name Josh Myover? And Josh is like, yeah. And he's like, oh, I saw your show on your stepdad's podcast, and I think you're great. And Josh is like, Mom, that's really weird. That's really weird. It's kind of funny.
That's
So,
awesome. Yeah, no, that's great.
but
Yeah, at this point I would welcome any and all anonymity. So that's maybe the benefit. Even getting back into the podcast, even getting back into the podcast game, I'm not where anyone would know me or recognize me, so that's perfect. So I'm sure you will be covering this on any other number of channels, and as you mentioned on the website, but I do think it wouldn't be an old man strength, you and me, if we didn't talk a little bit of Iowa State.
that's right.
And it sucks because the single greatest men's basketball victory to ever happened in the midst of all of this, and so we don't even get to just bask in all of that for the time being.
It's like the 6th bullet point over the weekend. That's what's crazy.
Yeah, which is just a shame because it's absolutely insane. It's insane to it's insane to me to see AP voters justify not putting Iowa State in their top 5 or putting Purdue ahead of them, as if head-to-heads don't matter.
Well, they're 4 though, right? But is Purdue ahead of them? I haven't seen
No.
that. That's how out of tune I am because I've been so engrossed with the football stuff today.
Yeah, yeah, they are 4. Purdue is 6. So the majority of the AP got it, but you can go. There are websites where you can go see how individual voters voted, right? And there are some voters that had Iowa State at 12.
You fucking assholes,
right? And to me, I think what's missing is that Iowa State just needs a quality loss. Because that's what those people really want. They don't care about your quality wins. They care how quality your losses were. And so since Iowa State doesn't have a quality loss, they don't seem to apparently pass the eye test.
I don't know that I want to go down that. I better not be this Thursday. I'll tell you that.
Oh, it better not be this Thursday. Yeah.
I want to decimate them. No, this weekend's been a range wide of emotions. And Thursday I was like, I don't know, it's probably not going to happen. And then Friday night we're at this dinner awards for the industry that I work in, and one of the partners just kept going, hey Chris, it's happening. And I was like, I know, I don't want to talk about it. I was like, and then within 5 minutes we're hiring a new coach already. Before they've even announced that Coach Campbell's gone, we've hired a new coach and they've put the announcement out. And my friend Wards just starts texting me, and he's like DEFCON 5. He's fucking pissed. They fucked this up, and so on and so forth. And this is terrible. And and I've lost all faith. And I'm the voice of reason, which should tell you something. No, call. Let's see how this guy. How can we hire this guy without any kind of interviews? And so then Saturday morning happens. I didn't even get to go watch the game, because I was out shopping with Stacy before the snow came. So I'm listening on the radio and I'm like, holy shit, this is great. This is going to calm everybody down. And then that fucking post on Cyclone Fanatic goes viral. And by Sunday afternoon, I'm hot. Because without disclosing anything, on a couple group chats that I'm in, 2 separate group chats I'm in, was confirmed by 2 different sources that they know that it was pretty much true. So one of them, I'll put it to you this way. One of the sources is a certain person who called us professionals on this podcast.
Okay.
So,
okay. All
which
right.
I guess you could call that person's judgment, in question. But so at this point, I'm full blown fire Pollard. Fuck that guy.
Mhm.
Right. And Dave Larson, the host of Side of the Storm, is over there going, it may not be. And I'm like, no, Dave, you know what? It was you and I in January. No, you do what I tell you and you think what I think you should think because I'm right. That's how angry I was yesterday. So to the point yet that yes, I wrote an article comparing the destruction of the Chicago Bears or the Bulls by Jerry Krause as the same crumbling that we're seeing with Jamie Pollard, thinking that he's the smartest guy in the room, and nobody should listen to him. And then the press conference happened this morning, and I was like, maybe I overreacted.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of these things where I feel like there's probably a lot of truth on all sides, right? Like,
Yeah.
like there's not one right thing, and so we're all subject to confirmation bias, right? So what we think is true, we tend to pay more attention to the things that support that point than the things that refute that point, right? That's pretty obvious. But I think that doesn't mean that there is not some truth to some of the struggles. I think there's probably a lot more nuance, right? I did get a chance to listen to Williams and Bloom's podcast from last night. I think it was last night.
Yeah, late last night. Yep.
Yeah. And I think there's probably it was good on Brent to kind of, I don't want to say walk back, but to maybe clarify and to admit to posting emotionally.
We wouldn't know anything about that.
Yeah, exactly. But I think there have been enough sources that there are enough things that some of these things are probably true. Just maybe things in that are absolutely true out of context, right? And I think some other things where people are still, wanting to make sure things are moving forward in the best light. And I think the big thing is the longer Cyclone fans dwell on this, the harder it is to no, Dave, I have not yet listened to the side of the storm on this, so I will. I promise you.
That's why he's not here anymore, Dave. He didn't even listen to our own fucking pod.
I have only so many things that I can do. I can't listen at work. I think the thing right now is that I hope this starts to blow over quickly so that we can just move forward. And
I think it will.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it will.
It will. It's been such a chaotic 72 hours, really.
Right.
Right.
Well, first of all, I got to get this out of the way. Oh, Tim, Megatron says she misses you. I don't know if you can see her, but she commented on the stream and said that she misses you.
Oh, well, thank you. I really appreciate that.
Does she know it's Tim Johnson? It's Tim Johnson.
I was gonna say, I kind of feel like she's lying, but I appreciate that anyway.
I sent Bloom a message today and said, yet again, I appreciated what he said on the pod last night. I thought he was a little hard on himself, but I think that he realizes the position and the words that he has carries a lot more weight.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And you have to be careful of that, so, it's easy to lose sight of that when you have a president who runs his fucking mouth and doesn't realize what his words do. But, you know me, I got to take a shot any chance I get.
I mean, you're not wrong.
But I reiterated to him, we all know where his heart's at, right? And we all know how hard he's worked. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I can't imagine where Cyclone Athletics would be if Brent and Crystal Bloom were not at the head of it and the NIL for the previous 4 years.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. It's insane to me. So living up here in Minneapolis, there are very strident Gopher supporters, but I just don't think Gopher fans understand what like an Iowa State fandom is like, and I think you see that in all of the NIL pieces because there are no There's no Gopher beer. There's no like. They talk about how they don't have NIL and woe is me, and we have we're in this big city, but we're the excuses that Gopher fans make for why there aren't more Gopher fans is exhausting.
It's also glad to see that nothing's changed. Tim hates the Gophers.
I don't hate that. I mean, I hate PJ Fleck. Well, I don't hate PJ Fleck. I don't know the guy. I'm very happy he is not the Iowa State coach. But like just the way that Brent really kind of helped shepherd, I think, all of Cyclone fans through kind of what this new landscape looks like, and
Right.
he there's a lot he doesn't understand that he says. There's certainly a lot that we still don't understand. But I mean it's been kind of a scary past few years for people to even understand it, right? Our first kind of hint of anything was Tyrese Hunter, and we still didn't understand what was going on then.
Right.
And now it's a completely different thing. Yeah, absolutely. I think he probably was hard on himself, but I also know that he, because he wants to make sure that Iowa State athletics and the fandom move forward and move past all of this. But it's not easy. I think one thing that I struggle with more than the people absolutely bashing on Pollard is the way that people feel that like Coach Campbell, seeing people say that he has no integrity, he's dead to me, like he's a liar, he's this, he's that.
Yeah, see, that's just ridiculous.
That's the stuff that bugs me.
What was he supposed to do?
Yeah,
like I get that. Listen, that was probably, he said in his press conference today, it was the worst day of my life having to go in there on Friday night.
Well, and the whole he didn't even talk to the players first. The players in the dark. Well,
What's he supposed to say?
Yeah, like nothing's finalized. And that's the other thing that sucks about all this is things get leaked, right, wrong, or indifferent. They get leaked early,
right?
Maybe even only 50% correct. They get leaked.
Right.
And so how do you get ahead of something when you know that you're not going to be able to give any of the answers to the questions that people are going to ask, right?
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, I don't know what situation like he would have been able to come out of this looking unscathed, and I'm certain he didn't make this decision lightly, and I'm certain that
right.
His family and his mom's health played a lot bigger part than anyone is giving any credence to.
Sure it did.
Right now, right? I mean, it's literally like he's literally half the distance away.
Yeah, I will say that from the people that have told me that have some knowledge, and I trust them. I mean, listen, he'll talk about it next Monday. One of them is Keith Schrage. You know Keith.
Yep.
We interviewed him. He got us Coach Walden. He's gotten us Lefty Moore. He's got us, quite a few guests. He's got a lot of connections.
Yeah.
And, I'm not saying that whatever Jeremy posted on the Cyclone Fanatic boards, I'm not saying that that's 100% accurate through and through.
Yeah.
But I think that where there's smoke, there's fire. I trust that Jamie told us the majority of what was true today.
Yep.
But I think that he would be remiss in himself if he divulged everything. I still believe that at the last minute there was a chance for Coach Campbell to stay. And I think at that point Jamie was made up. And maybe wrong or right. Maybe he thought, listen, let's just end it now, because at some point we're going to be here again in 2 years or whatever, and you're going to go to another job. So let's just end it now, right? Maybe that's what in his mind thought, and it was time to reset and go, we're just gonna move on, and it's going to be that's what happened. I don't know. I don't know exactly what happened. Nobody was in the room, but Jamie and Coach Campbell. But I I do believe that there was probably a last minute chance to save it, and it didn't happen. My concern is here's the concerning thing I have. He clearly has been texting this coach for a while.
Mm-hmm.
He said that today in the press conference.
Yeah.
He's kept him on the hook.
Yeah.
That I'm not sure I'm super not like on board with, right? I get that stuff happens, but like when you're this blatantly saying, well, I text him, he texts me before every South Dakota State and every Washington State game. I mean, if we were on the other end of it and Coach Campbell was texting with Bob Kraft or whatever that dude's name is at Penn State for the last 2 years before every game and keeping in contact with him, we'd be pretty salty, wouldn't we?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think like it is smart for Jamie to, have an idea, like always know what's going on, because anything could have happened, right? That he wanted to be prepared and be ready, but it does feel a little, I would agree, it does feel icky, I guess, just the fact that there was this going on. Do I think it was necessarily unwise? No, but does it still feel icky? Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's what still feels, I don't know, that I don't feel gets fully addressed by any of the posts that I've seen, and I don't know how that does get addressed, and
and maybe we don't.
Yeah.
Maybe it doesn't matter, and we just move on. And I'm at the end of the day, I'm a huge Cyclone fan. The ambulance will be in the tailgate lots next fall. I'll still watch every game, and I'll 100% be behind Coach Rogers going forward, because there's no alternative for me.
Yeah,
that's how much I love the Cyclones.
Yeah.
But I do think that we were spoiled for a long time. I mean, we had Brent Bloom and Crystal in charge of the NIL. We didn't lose anybody of real significance to the portal in football and basketball for the last 2-3 years.
Yeah.
The coach has been stable, and I think maybe we were just under a little bit of false security or false sense of security. Everybody else is leaving. They're losing players. Dion's bringing his Louis Vuittons and all this other stuff, and we're just trucking along over here with the culture and the process, and everything's all hunky dory, and then reality slaps us right in the fucking face.
Yeah, I mean, there are a couple of things that are true, even if you get offered something really better. If you're happy in your situation, you don't leave. There has to be something missing. And to me, it's just way too easy to be like, oh, he's just chasing dollars. Because to me, that does not seem like what that was, right?
Right.
There's something else that he is not getting at Iowa State now, whether that's proximity to family, whether that's more resources for assistant coaches, whether that's more just autonomy. I don't believe that this just came down to Penn State was going to pay him a higher salary. Like, to me, that just seems too easy. There's other things, because in the past year, I went to a job that paid more money and I was miserable, and I'm back to being broke as shit but happy at work. There has to be other reasons to there that we don't, we may know or may not know, but if there's something that Iowa State wasn't offering him, I don't know that an 11th hour solution was going to come.
Maybe not. I will tell you this. I as far as Coach Campbell goes, I go back to when we interviewed Coach McCarney, and do you remember when he was telling us the story about he had left here, and I think he had bounced around a little bit, and Urban Meyer had offered him that defensive coach's position for Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And Urban's pitch to him was, Coach, you've done amazing things with the assets that you have. Now imagine being able to take your skill set and coach it to the best athletes in the country.
Yeah.
And what's the have you ever been able to have you ever had the opportunity to do that? And you owe it to yourself to be able to take that opportunity. And it's the same thing with Coach Campbell. He's got amazing culture. He's got amazing processes. He's a great coach. I mean, you can't deny that with what he's left here at Iowa State. And now to be able to take that skill set and that process that he has and enact it on 5-star kids with talent that, he had to mold here. And that's not a slight against the guys that played at Iowa State at all.
No.
That's a hard challenge to pass up for a guy.
Well, I think anytime if I can find the same success through an easier path, right? Why wouldn't I? Right?
Yeah.
If like I would be silly not to. Like I some of these guys like Bill Belichick. Why on earth would you want to go back into the world of college recruiting in the environment that it is? Right? That sounds exhausting to me. Like, coaches are already exhausted. To be able to actually now have more resources to be able to do those exact same things that I had to overcome before are now just out of the way. Yeah. Absolutely. Right. I definitely, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like that we could have ever offered him what Penn State can offer him, even taking out the money aspect.
Right.
And so, and I think that's something that people aren't necessarily, so it does bug me when people start to question his integrity, and maybe he didn't go about it perfectly, right? I've never been in his shoes, so I can't say that I would ever do it. I've never had anything premier try to recruit me away in such a way that in such a public spotlight in all of these things. It's easy for us to all armchair quarterback this.
Here's what I think, and we'll get a word from Kyle Lehman and then we'll come back, but you can't fake who you are.
Yeah. You're
telling me that he's put on this fake facade for 10 years and really the person he is the guy that happened Friday night. I'm not buying it.
Yeah. No,
he's been as genuine as he always has been for 10 years. Every single player that has went through that program will tell you that. Every parent, we've interviewed him. We've interviewed Coach Walling and people like that their kids have played for him. That you don't fake that. Breece's mom is another one.
Yeah.
Man, we've had some pretty good guests, dude.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, absolutely.
You just don't fake that at the end. All right, we're going to get another break here from Kyle Lehman, and then when we come back, we're going to get wrapped up. And then we get to play my favorite segment, Tim. Shut the fuck up segment.
Excellent.
Inspired. I still expose that lie every fucking episode that it was you that Steph said to shut the fuck up. All right, because God knows it wouldn't be me. I didn't do any talking on the pod before, so. All right, let's get a word from Kyle Lehman at Wintrust Mortgage, and we'll be back with my buddy Tim Johnson.
Whether you're buying, selling, or refinancing your home, or if it's simply time to renovate the one you're already living in, you need an experienced mortgage professional to help you analyze your financing options and to make sure the closing goes smoothly. And that's exactly what you get when you call Kyle Lehman at Wintrust Mortgage. Kyle's experience and expertise, coupled with Wintrust's rates and programs, ensures you'll get the mortgage that's right for you. You may even qualify for down payment assistance. Before you reach out to a realtor, call Kyle and get pre-qualified, empowering you to start shopping for the home of your dreams. Call Kyle at 515-473-0546. Kyle Lehman, Wintrust Mortgage, 515-473-0546.
All right, and we're back. Tim, we don't have a Kyle Lehman Wintrust Mortgage pod question right now, so let's do this. Give me an update on your lovely daughter and how things are going with her.
Yeah, I would love to, because I do nothing but gush about her constantly. So my daughter has recently gotten into basketball.
Oh yes, I remember that. Yes.
But
all day Saturdays at the basketball gym.
Yeah. So it's literally it's so fifth grade, and she has these all day tournaments. It's 6 months straight of like tournaments. So this past Saturday, she had a game at 2 in the afternoon, 4 in the afternoon, and the last one was supposed to be at 8 in the evening, which is already stupid late for a game on a Saturday night for 10-year-old girls. But the game before them ran long. They didn't get on the court until like 9.
Oh,
We didn't get
Jesus.
home until like 11. Like I got her some gelato on the way home, and we ate that. Then she just went right to bed, and then didn't wake up until like 9 the next morning. But yeah, so they were playing a basketball tournament. As exciting as 5th grade girls basketball can be. But I was able to get video of her getting an offensive rebound and a putback basket, and her team going nuts for her.
That's awesome.
Which is fun to see because her dad is not exactly of tall stature, so my daughter is not exactly amongst the dream, which is weird though. Because
Ask Marcus, Jamal Tinsley every once in a while get a rebound.
Yeah, well, there's I mean, there are like legit 6 foot tall 5th grade girls in this league, which is weird. But like legit 6 foot tall 5th grade girls. So it's fun to see my daughter, who's 4'6", playing with them. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Her team was really supportive tonight. They did a whole Secret Santa thing. All the girls. And then they won the championship. So they won the City of Lakes championship in Minneapolis, and the team that they beat, they had lost to the first game of the year, and that team had not lost coming into this tournament. So they got a revenge win against an undefeated team in the championship game, and they absolutely boat raced them. They won by like 12, which in youth sports is equivalent to like winning by 50.
Going to Purdue and winning by 25.
Yeah, exactly. It was great because Lily and I watched the second half of the Iowa State Purdue game before we went off to her first game, and so I was like, I think the Cyclone Men inspired her. I'm sure that's not the case, but yeah. And so it was a lot of fun. So she's loving that. I'm very happy. I'm very happy she's playing team sports. I'm not going to pretend like there wasn't a part of me that was like, oh my God, I have to commit this many weekends and all, weekend or like 2-day tournament in Rochester and all of these things. And like, I was always really happy when like friends would be telling me like, one of my friends is a hockey dad, and like how busy he is with all of that stuff. And at least with Lily, like with basketball, like hockey, you have to buy new equipment like every year because they outgrow all that stuff.
Right.
And that's like hundreds and hundreds of dollars of equipment that you're buying every year.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So at least I'm not having to do that.
Well,
but yeah,
when you get into show choir time, then you can come back and talk to me because that's an all day fucking thing.
Yeah.
That sucked. I mean, I loved watching Caitlin, but it was an all day fucking thing. So
yeah, I was really more looking forward to Lily. Just she plays the drums. I was looking forward to those types of things. So the flip side is this Saturday, her first game is at 8 in the morning, which on a Saturday, which isn't any more fun for me. At least it's not too far of a drive. But she's had somewhere it was like 8 in the morning and an hour away, and I'm like, oh. Earlier than I want to wake up on a Saturday to do that.
Get it done and get it out of the way.
Yeah, but and then she'll have another 3 games. And they don't ever space them out right. It's all whatever. But yeah, she's loving it. Like I said, she's also playing drums. So she's really kind of enjoying that, and otherwise just enjoying 5th grade up here. The elementary is K through 5, and the middle school is 6 through 8. So she's enjoying kind of being kings of the school. And
there you
go. Yeah,
awesome. All right, we're gonna play our last segment of the STFU segment, which was famously coined and created because a host on this show wouldn't shut the fuck up, and Steph Copley had to tell him to quit talking so that she could get her point across. So we're gonna play an ad from Steph Copley and invite you to donate to the Young Women's Resource Center, because that's what Three Beards Media is all about, to go ahead and give back to the community. And when we come back, Tim, I'll shut the fuck up and you get to say whatever you want.
Hey everybody, it's Steph Copley, the woman behind the STFU segment on the Old Man Strength podcast. When I told the guys I wanted to sponsor this segment, they recommended that I make a charitable donation instead, so that's what I did. I chose the Young Women's Resource Center in Des Moines, Iowa. They're a nonprofit that supports, educates, and advocates for girls and young women ages 10 to 24. Their whole goal is to make sure that these young women become strong, self-confident, and successful. And if you know me at all, you know that aligns with my goals as well. If you're interested and would like to donate, check them out at ywrc.org and donate today. And remember, don't forget to STFU and listen every once in a while. Thanks.
All right, we're back. Tim, floor is yours.
So this is something I've been kind of workshopping for a little while, but I think I know how to completely fix politics in this country. I think we need to. So, do you remember before NIL how we treated student athletes? That's how we need to be treating politicians. No endorsement deals. You can't be doing any book deals while you're in office. You can't be playing the stock market while you're in office. Your paycheck is the same as all the other students, right? So your paycheck is only the median income of the district that you represent, and you can't make money in any way above and beyond that. We need to be treating them like student athletes. You only have so many years to serve. You actually have to live on campus, right? Like these politicians that represent a district they don't live in or own a house in, but spend 90% of their time in another state or in DC. I want these guys on campus, meaning in their district, making the median income for their district, not being able to get rich off of this. The number of politicians that come out a lot wealthier than they went in, that and then have that career for life. Chuck Grassley, again, how much does he either hate his family or his family hate him that he needs to be constantly serving, because he's certainly not representing anyone. I mean, I don't want a 51-year-old Division I athlete. I don't want a 71-year-old politician. They don't represent the spirit of what that is, right? I want a college student playing college sports, and I want a person of the people as part of the people representing the people. I don't want Chuck Schumer making up a mythical couple that doesn't exist, and he says that he goes and asks that mythical couple what they would think or do, and it's really just a way of him like copying out on what his own opinions or feelings are. I think if we just treat politicians like we used to do at college athletes, i.e. indentured servants, then maybe we would actually be able to get people in there that are actually willing to not just do what is best for them, but is really best for their district. I don't see it happening. There's too much money in college sports. There's too much money in politics. It feels like it's a bell that can't be unrung. And every time you turn around, whether it is with college sports or with politics, the Supreme Court seems to rule in favor of people making money rather than what either institution was founded on. And it would be great if we could just actually feel represented for once. And then get rid of. I don't want anyone older than me. I want most politicians to be younger than me. Frankly, I'm the old people have not done so great. Let's move on.
They have not.
So, yeah.
The current leadership is still 30 years older than I am.
Yeah.
And I'm 55. I just turned 55. That's a problem.
Yeah, it is definitely a problem. So yeah, I'd like to see that change. So vote for me for either NCAA commissioner or commissioner of politics.
There you go. All right, we're gonna get out of here. Be sure to tune in to the rest of the Three Beards Media Networks. We have Billy and Willie's workshop tomorrow night, Hawk's Eye View and Locks and Long Shots on Wednesday, Chair Shots on Thursday, and then Side of the Storm again. And then Monday, alternating on Old Man Strength, Tim, we have a new show hosted by Keith Stragi, Ken Anderson, and Sean Jankowski called Tracking the Storm, Loyal Sons Stories. Stories from Loyal Sons. So it's all about Cyclone history. They're going to bring on old guests. They've got guests lined up, dude. Mac Brown is signed up to come on the podcast. They're working on Jimmy Johnson. They've got Dave Archer next Monday night. They've got some connections there. So super excited to have those guys on the network. But it wouldn't be Old Man Strength if I didn't let Tim take us home.
Oh, shoot. I'm so out of practice. I really appreciate you guys listening to all of us. It's been great being back, and we will see you guys next time.
Old man strength, built to last. Try to break me, you won't get past. Ain't no quit, ain't no doubt. You don't know tough till you've been worn out. Make it, you'll understand.